Everybody, welcome back to another video. And today is Friday, July the 5th of 2024. And it's a bonus video about Orem, Utah. And that is coming up right after this. Welcome back to Traveling with Justin. I am Justin. And yes, this is going to be a kind of like a little bit of a history behind a certain part of Orem. Right now, I'm standing right here at North East Elementary School here in Orem, Utah. And let's go ahead and let's talk about what this is all about. So yeah, if we're looking this way towards North East Elementary School, look at that view of Mount Baldy, right? There, the green. And then you have Timpanogos right there with the snow still on it up there. So yeah, that is a good view right there. So this area, starting from back here, these houses right here, all these houses and this school, and up to a certain point, I'll show you guys all here in a minute, but this was my grandpa's farm.
Right. So yeah, as I was talking, I'm just going to focus on this northeast section of Orem, Utah. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at this section right here. Okay. We're going to take a look at this section clear down here from 1600 north, clear down to 1200 south. Well, the line should go back there, but that's fine. And this area right in here, go over here, up here, all the way around, and then there was a subdivision right there. But this right here was the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints welfare farm, and they had a whole bunch of trees right in here. I mean, just a bunch of trees. We got apples, we had peaches, we had cherry trees. And then over here we had alfalfa, hay, corn. It depends on where they planted the things at, because right up here used to be an alfalfa field and more hay, but then it was corn one year, and back here was alfalfa. They just rotated where they planted the crops at. And then right here, let's see here, there's a little tiny road right here. You'd come down, and about right here, this area, that's where the Golding's house used to sit. And then they had a hay barn out there. That's where we used to play at all the time. And so, yeah, and that was a church welfare farm. So let's move over here to this section right here. This is where the We're Perfect complex is at, or the Canyon Park Tech Center. So this right here is the tech center, and these right here are some houses that are going in right there. So this was the Gillman orchard. They just had a ton of fruit trees, and yeah, we used to run through that all the time. And yeah, of course, that's the cemetery. But yeah, this is the Gillmans, and this is the church welfare farm. All right, so now let's come over here, and let's focus right here. Right here, this little sliver. It was part of the Gillman orchard. This was part of the Gillman farm as well, but yeah, this is the Gillmans, and then this is the Gillmans, and then this one, this little section right here, this little section right here was the Swenson farm. That just had hay in it. And then I did not put on here, but then this right here was, so yeah, if you take this and go along here, up to here, and then down here, this was the Swenson farm as well. The Swenson lived right here. All right, and then if we come back over here and we look at this little sliver, that goes from here, 1600 north, all the way up here to the Murdoch Canal Trail. That's actually the canal before they covered it. This little section right here was the Baxter farm. They had orchards back here, and then they had some hay and things like that through here. So this little sliver right here This was the Gowns' farm. Okay? And he had cherry trees back in here. And he had some horses, and then this was hay. And then this section right here, this was the Jenkins farm. Yes, my grandfather's farm. So my grandfather lived right here, and they would have a dairy barn right there for the cows. And this was a hayfield. This was a hayfield before this house was built. And then this right here, it just depends on the year and stuff like that. Sometimes it was corn, sometimes it was more hay. And yeah, they just had a huge farm right there. And yeah, this is the northeast part of Orem. So let me tell you right here, okay? I'm going to zoom in here. So right here, yeah, my grandfather lived here, and my grandfather had 5 kids, 3 daughters and 2 sons. Now, he gave a plot to each one of his kids. The 3 daughters sold their plots, and my parents took this plot right here, and then this was my uncle's plot. Uncle passed away, and my aunt was never going to move to Orem because they lived in Mesa, Arizona. And so my parents bought the plot for them to build a house on. So they took this alfalfa field, and it turned into my house growing up. So my grandparents lived there, my parents lived there, then they moved here. So that's where I grew up at. So yeah, this was Northeast Orem and the farms and stuff around it. So yeah, they had this orchard was there for a long time. I think it started to change in like 88, 89. And then this right here, the street right here was my junior year in high school, so they sold all this right here. The church sold that to like Timpanogos, and well, they just sold the land. Not sure. The developer who bought it started developing on it, and then the Gowns' they eventually sold off this property to Alpine School District or the city. I do believe it's the city for the Northridge Park, because Northridge Elementary School right here is there, but the kids use that all the time. And Baxter sold this off for houses. And then my grandfather sold this off for houses and stuff. He was just getting a little bit too old. And yeah. And then right here, the Swensons sold that, and now it's just a bunch of houses. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at what it looks like now. Okay, so right here is the church welfare farm. Right along here, clear over to here. All right, this cul-de-sac was there. And then this is the Gillman's orchard right here. And then this sliver of Gillman's orchard is still there, but it's for sale. And then this was the Swenson farm right here. And then this was the Baxter farm right here. Then they've passed away, and so they've sold that property, and they're making several houses out of it. And they sold this property a while back so that they could build houses right there. Northridge Park, that's part of the Gowns' property right there. Yeah, this was the Baxter farm as well. And then this right here, this was the Jenkins farm right here. Then over here was the Swensons. So let's scroll down right here. So this is where my grandparents lived. My parents built this house. And then my parents built this house right here. And that is where we grew up. But now both my parents have passed away, and we had to sell the house. But yeah, that is where I grew up and lived at. It used to be all farmland up in this area. This area was also hills and farmland and stuff as well. But yeah, this area sure has grown since the time.
All right, so that concludes the little bonus video of the history of Northeast Orem with all the farms and things like that. Yes, my grandfather's farm and all the other farms that I grew up around are no longer there. All right, guys, I hope you guys found this little interesting and unique video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And also subscribe to the channel because I've got more videos coming out here on my Tour of Utah series, my LDS Temple series, and about my travel adventures. Hopefully I'll be able to travel a little bit more. All right, guys, and until the next one, I will see you later.